Hey yo!
Welcome back.
What's poppin', y'all?
It's your boys Jake
And Jeremy back for another edition of
Beren
Boys
Bekius.
Beren Boys Bekius. We know you
Right
guys
here.
missed us, okay? We know it's been hard. But listen,
been a
man, gotta do what man's gotta do. We've been traveling. We've been living life. I'm in Eretz right now with the fam. If you know, you know.
I'm in Houston, but on winter break. Let's get right into it.
All right, so we're back. Parshat VaEira, a juicy one. Let's hop right in.
All right. So at the beginning of this parsha, God reveals himself to Moshe, and he uses the 4 expressions of freedom:
Hotzeti, Hitzalti, Ga'alti, and Lakachti.
Good. So he uses these 4 and saying that he's gonna take the Jews to take them out and take them to the promised land.
Right. So Moshe and Aaron, in the famous encounter that we all know, go to Paro and demand, "Let my people go." Right? They're demanding Paro, let the people go. We need to go pray in the wilderness to our God. And repeatedly, time after time, Paro says, "No dice."
So then Aaron takes his staff, the one that Hashem told him to bring, takes his staff and it turns it into a snake. So the Egyptian sorcerers do the same thing. However, something interesting happens, and Aaron's staff swallows up these sorcerers' staffs.
Right. Clearly, Aaron's staff is just far superior to that of the
Far and away, much better.
Far and away better. Right. So, following this encounter, God sends what we know as the 10 plagues. The 10 plagues are upon Egypt, starting with Dam. The Nile turns to blood.
Next, we have Tzfardea. We have moths everywhere.
Kinim, a lice infestation.
Arov, of wild animals.
Next is Dever, the pestilence that kills all the wild animals.
Then there's Shchin, which is boils.
Ouch. And the 7th plague, Barad, which is fire encompassed in ice, raining down on the people of Egypt.
However,
still,
Paro's heart was still hardened, and he would not let the people go.
This man had his bathwater bloody, frogs in his underpants, lice, dead animals, and fire, hail, and still wouldn't let the Jews go. I mean, you got to respect the persistence, right? I mean.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hardened, James Harden has been traded.
Oh my God, what a god-tier transition. Wow.
The Brooklyn Nets for 4 first-round draft picks, 4 swaps, and a bunch of other dudes.
Wow. James Harden's none. Jake Teller, Houston resident. How do you feel?
Well,
we don't care.
We don't need him anyway. He was even good.
Martin, Rockets in 5. Okay, right. So James Harden definitely headwaying the sports news right now. But in other news, the Cleveland Browns dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers. They took a big ol' L in the NFL playoffs.
28-0 to start out that game. That was crazy. Bama caught a dub in the national championship in college, and Nick Saban has
baby.
Championship.
And
last,
although Jake's team is struggling, Michigan basketball, go blue, baby. We're rolling right now. Rolled straight through Wisconsin. We're cooking right now. So now that we're done with sports, with that beauty transition from Jake and the Parshat summary, time for some Daf Yomi, guys. We need to keep you up to date. People are steiging away Daf after Daf. And if you're not involved, you may not know what they're doing. So we got you.
We got you. Let's begin with Psachim 52. The Gemara brings up a source that says, if a person lives in Israel, they only have to keep 1 day of Yom Tov and Chags. However, outside of Israel, it's 2 days. You got to keep 2 days. So with a person who lives inside of Israel, if they go into Chutz La'aretz, into a place that's not inside of Israel, what do? Should they keep the 1 day from their home place, or should they take on the traditions of the new place?
So the Rambam brings a very interesting opinion and says that if you live in Israel the place of your residence is somewhere that keeps one day, but you're in America, but you plan on returning to Israel, what you can do is you can do melacha on the second day of Yom Tov. You don't have to keep it, but you can do so as long as you're in the privacy of your own home, as to not cause a discord within the community. But if you are in public, you must respect the guidelines of the community.
Very interesting. It's about the public appearances as opposed to the real traditions of the place.
All right, so what we have for you guys now, as you know, if you're a watcher of Beren Boys Bekius and you watch till the end, which is a select group, is that at the end, we'd like to have some higher, right, a select for you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate you.
Really, from the bottom of our hearts. But what we have on the program is some musar for you guys, some fire divrei Torah to take you guys from Beren Boys Bekius to your Shabbat table.
Let's get right into it. So, when Hashem talks to Moshe, the Torah uses two different words to describe Hashem.
Right. The pasuk goes, "Vaidaber Elokim el Moshe, Vaidaber elav ani Hashem." Right. So obviously we can't use the names of God, but there's Elokim and there's Yud Ke Vav Ke, and so it says Vaidaber Elokim. Elokim is speaking, and he says to Moshe, "I am Hashem." Right. So
the question is, why would they have these two different words in the same pasuk? And why would they even be like, why not just say Vaidaber Hashem, Ani Hashem, or Vaidaber Elokim, Ani Elokim?
Right. And so what it comes down to is the meaning associated with the two names of God. Right. We have Elokim, which is the God associated with judgment and stringency. And the other name of God, Yud Ke Vav Ke, Hashem, which is associated with compassion and relatability. And so what is trying to be told to us through this interesting encounter between God and Moshe is that there's a necessary balance in life between compassion and strict judgment.
Right. We can take it in our own lives, but also we can take it in our connection with Hashem, that we both have to love and fear Hashem. And these two words show exactly the balance that we need there.
And I think it's extremely fitting that in this week's Parsha, we have this balance between God's names, right? In a Parsha where we see God exert his full force on the people of Egypt, we might think he's being too strict, but we know that it's out of compassion for the Jewish people who have been enslaved. And so we really see a balance between Elokim and Hashem playing out in the Parsha and then, into our own lives.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching.
And with that, until next time, peace.